Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Urcha HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Today I want to go over, 3 or 4 scriptures, right, that deal with the type of spirit that as believers of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, we should be in, especially in these times, seeing how prophecy is unfolding and how the end is near. So jump right into it. This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 3. The point is in verse 12. We'll start here at verse 10. And it reads, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and that great noise causing the heavens to pass away is going into the destruction that the Lord is going to bring by way of nuclear missiles, which is the whole point of the buildup of World War III that the Lord is causing to happen, and as well as the lasers or the fire that rains down from the chariots of the angels in Yahweh Shai as well on his return. In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Right, and that's why the elements will be melting with fervent heat, because we're dealing with fire. "The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" And it says that the earth and also the works that are therein shall be burned up. And the earth dealing with a plot of land, speaking about America, right? And the works that are therein that shall be burned up, as the subtitle reads here. The subtitle reads, "A new heaven and a new earth," right? The wicked works pretty much at the destruction of America are going to cease, within America, but as well as within the world in general, because Yahweh Shai's return is about establishing a righteous kingdom, his righteous kingdom, the kingdom of heaven on the earth. Verse 11, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved," right? So knowing that this is coming, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So that's the life we should be living, one as pleasing to the Lord, knowing that these things are coming. Therefore we are seeking mercy from the Lord by doing the things that are pleasing unto him. Right, point, verse 12, "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High." Right, so desiring this day. That's the spirit we should be in, desiring the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And first, I want to get this in NLT, and then we'll look into that word hasting. In NLT, it reads, "Looking forward to the day of the Most High and hurrying it along. On that day he will set the heavens on fire, and the elements will melt away in the flames." Looking into this word hasting, you have the Greek spudo.
Strong's G 4692. Spudo.
Spudo. Okay, to haste, make haste, to desire earnestly. So like it, make haste unto with haste. Do, probably strengthened from, to speed, study, i.e. urge on, diligently or earnestly, by implication, to wait eagerly, make with haste unto. Right, so we are supposed to desire Salakia this day to come fast. We are hasting, speedily waiting for this day to come, because we want to, we as believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we want to be able to, follow the Lord in its fullness. And we cannot do that in this world, right? In the wicked world, we cannot do that in this flesh, So we desire the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to come for those things to change. Now it says the day of the Most High. And what a lot of people seem to get wrong is that the day of the Lord is going to be a day that's good for everyone. Really, it's going to be a day that's good for only for the elect of the nation of Israel, really all of Israel, but starting with the elect of the nation of Israel. And we're going to get into why that is. It's the book of Amos chapter 5 verse 18. And it reads, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Right? So what we just read in 2 Peter is that we should be hasting the day of the Lord. But now we're saying, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Right? Because what it's speaking to, or who it's speaking to, are two different people. Right? You have the elect of the nation of Israel, who have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh by Shema Shai through the Holy Spirit. Right? And those who don't. So it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, speaking about those who don't have that knowledge, because they don't truly know what the day of the Lord consists of. To what end is it for you? Right? And they don't know that really the day of the Lord is going to be a day of death, destruction, right? For them. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, right? You know, so the day of the Lord is going to be a very judging time, because that's what the Lord is coming back to do for the nation of Israel. I want to look into this word darkness. You have chashak, darkness, obscurity, darkness, secret place, darkness, dark, obscurity, night. The dark, hence darkness, figuratively, misery, right? There's going to be a lot of misery when the Lord returns. Destruction, whole lot of destruction when the Lord returns, and death. A great deal of death when the Lord returns. Ignorance, sorrow, wickedness, right? All of the above. You know, all the bad things that people think is not going to happen. That's what's going to happen, right? The day of the Lord is not going to be one where the Lord returns. You know, the whole world just gets along. You know, the Lord starts passing out flowers and so on and so forth. No, it's not going down like that, man. The Lord is going to be passing out judgment. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. And when it speaks about the day of the Lord, it's really a time period of the Lord leading all the way up to the day of Yahweh Shai's actual return. But, you know, starting when the Lord really ramps things up and starts bringing the judgments, right? The death, the plagues, the famine, so on and so forth. And as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, meaning, you know, you're not going to get a break. Perils all around you. When you thought you escaped one, another one worse is waiting on you. Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, right, thinking you're safe, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, be darkness and not light, even very dark? So it's doubling down on just how bad the day of the Lord is going to be, right? And bad for those who aren't of the elect of the nation of Israel. And no brightness in it. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies, right? Because Israel was being, you know, a backsliding people, and even today they still are. So the judgment of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, this is going to be the final time that the Lord judges his people, and he's going to do it. He's going to go all out while doing it. Now let's also get the book of Malachi chapter 4. Verse 1, again dealing with that ultimate day of the Lord, when Yahweh Shai actually returns. It's the book of Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Right, we just read in 2 Peter the 3rd chapter how the elements shall be melting with fervent heat, the heavens burn, and all the proud. Right, and let's actually look into this word proud first. The proud, Zod, arrogance, proud, insolent, presumptuous. The arrogant ones, presumptuous, proud, presumptuous, arrogant, presumptuous. All right. So, and the arrogant ones would ultimately be those who refuse to do the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, dealing with the wicked of our people, right? And ultimately, the other nations as well, right? They're going to get their judgment too, but dealing with the wicked of our people who refuse to hearken to the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. That's a showing of pride and arrogance. You know, like you're, even though scriptures liken the Lord unto the potter and we're the clay, you're moving as if you're a potter as well, as if you yourself are a God. So therefore, you don't have to adhere to the words of the one and only true living God. And that shows a great deal of pride. And the Lord is coming to do away with that pride. And all the proud, yeah, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. Now, stubble, right, goes into like chaff, the little bits of, grain or wood that do what? Burn. Stubble, quash, stubble, chaff, stubble, straw as dry, right. Shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, right? And that's the day of the Lord. Said the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Now, as I said, right, and this day, because of their pride, this day is going to come upon them as a thief in the night. But us, being that we're in the spirit of what? Looking forward to this day, right? The Lord is not going to catch off guard. Because if you have a thief coming to rob your house in the night, right, but you are looking forward to him coming, then that he wouldn't catch you as a thief, and more so he would catch you as a visitor. You're welcoming him. And that's how it is for the elect of the nation of Israel versus the non-elect, right? Those who have the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and those who don't. That's why, as we read, one is looking for the day of the Lord, but to the other, the day of the Lord is going to be darkness and not light. But for those who have the light of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that day will be light, man. Now let's get the book of, here it says in the second verse, but unto you that fear my name, right? Those who have the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the spirit of fear in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So therefore you do what? You serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Please Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise. And that goes to show that those who are too proud, right, to humble themselves before the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, it just goes into lack of fear. They don't fear the Lord. And that's what it is. Because if they did, they would act right. But they don't. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. Now the Son of Righteousness, being Yahweh Shai, arise with healing in his wings. Now when you look into this word wings, it goes into like the outer parts, right? You have kanap, slakia, kanap, wing, extremity, edge, winged border, right? Corner, shirt, wing, extremity. So the extremity, the edge, right? The outer part, and we see here Yahweh Shai is likened unto a sun. So the outer parts will be likened unto like the sun rays, right? That light. Now it reads, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And that healing, let's look into this word healing. Healing, marapa, health, healing, cure, health, profit, sound of mind, healing, incurable. With negative, health, healing, remedy, cure, right, wholesome, yielding. So Yahweh Shai, as that sun, when he returns, his rays, right, the light will shine on who? The elect of the nation of Israel, and heal them. That healing would be like going into the perfection that Yahweh Shai will pretty much change Israel, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel into. Right, so but unto you that fear the name of the Slakia, but unto you that fear my name, going into the elect of the nation of Israel, shall the Son of Righteousness, Yahweh Shai, arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. Right, and that going forth and growing up as calves of the stall, basically, like we said, going into the perfection that the Lord is going to change Israel into, is going to be changed into like a calf that has received the best nurturing, right? The that grows to be perfect, right, without blemish, so on and so forth. And let's get this in the NLT. It reads, "But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings, and you will go free, leaping with joy like calves, let out of pleasure." The NIV, "But for you who revere my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in its rays, and you will go out and frolic like well-fed calves." Right, so that is going to be that's what the elect of the nation of Israel are looking for. And that's why when that day returns, it's going to be one of lightness for them, right? Lightness from what? As we just read, Yahweh Shai being the sun in his rays. So for them it's lightness, for the others it's darkness. Now here is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 42. Again, going into that, the day of the return of Yahweh Shai. "I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs." Again, going into the elect of the nation of Israel. "And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest." And that's going into Yahweh Shai, right? That Son of Righteousness. Slakia. "Taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel, and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, Those be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal." So at the return of Yahweh Shai, the elect of the nation of Israel are going to be the first ones to receive the new bodies, right? To do away with these flesh, this wicked flesh, right? These chambers of darkness, and to inhabit, and their spirit is going to inhabit a righteous vessel, so that they can live righteously, live perfect, as Yahweh Shai did. And that's a part of that healing. You know, that comes with the perfecting Israel. "And put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms," and palms going into peace, because that also goes into healing, right? The peace that Yahweh Shai is going to establish, the peace within the nation of Israel that Yahweh Shai is going to establish, right? No more affliction, no more judgment, no more what's the word? Captivity, right? No more of any worrying. That's also a part of that healing, man. And that's what we are looking forward to. "Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High," right, Yahweh Shai, "whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord." So those who confess Yahweh Shai in the world, ultimately being the elect of the nation of Israel. "Then began I greatly," and to confess comes with action. You know, you can't just say that, "Oh, I believe Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai," and yet you're instead of truly confessing Yahweh Shai in the world, you're living like those amongst the world, you know, who don't confess Yahweh Shai. So that comes with action as well. "Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai." And when you stand stiffly, it's because of there's some force, you know, pretty much acting against you, right? Whether figuratively, literally, but you are standing strong as to not be pushed over. And that's going into the faith of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai that the elect of the nation of Israel will have, you know, unwavering faith. "Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen." Right, so go preach. You know, and that's a part of what? Confessing Yahweh Shai in the world, preaching his word. So going back here, that was 2 Peter. Reading verse 12 once more. "Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness." Right. Now let's get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4. We can start at verse 3. And the glory of the Most High of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house. Now the vision Ezekiel is seeing is pretty much a vision of angels who have come to judge Israel. To keep it brief, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house. So he's seeing a chariot, pretty much with the glory of the Most High, a chariot that comes from wherever it was to the threshold of the house, being the inner gates or the front gates or whatever of the temple. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side, which is an angel. And the writer's inkhorn being, you know how you see in movies or shows where in olden times they have, instead of, pens and pencils, they have a thing of ink with like a feather. They dip it so they can write, right? That was that writer's inkhorn. Verse 4, the point. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai, said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, which is the people before its place, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So, keeping along with the vision, that angel with the inkhorn would use that ink to set a mark upon, as it reads here, the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, because dealing with this time, right, Israel was being wicked. But applying that to our time now, still you have Israel being wicked. So those who sigh and that cry for all the abominations, right, the wickedness of our people and the wickedness of this world, ultimately being the elect of the nation of Israel, because they have a spirit of righteousness. So to dwell amongst wickedness is afflicting for them, it's vexing. In which that mark, right, look into this word mark, you have the Hebrew word thawah, which goes into a mark of exemption from judgment. So again, reason here, thawah, desire mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. So those who sigh and they cry, those who look forward for the day of the Lord, they will have received this mark, in which that mark we know is likened unto the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai through the Holy Spirit, right? And knowing, having the wisdom of the Lord, we know what's to come in the day of the Lord, what's to come after, right? And what's to lead up to that. And that's why, as we read here, again, or as we read in Amos, that day for them will be light and not dark. Whereas for the others, those who dwell without the wisdom of the Lord, it will be darkness, man. And as we looked into that word darkness, it goes into death, destruction, right? Pain, misery, suffering, so on and so forth. And as we're going to read here, right? And to the others, he said in mine hearing, the others being what? The wicked of our nation. Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. So ultimately, those who do not have that covering from Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai, that exemption from judgment, they're going to die, and that's why we tell our people to what? Repent, so that they can then serve the Lord, and Lord's will, he has mercy on them to, for them to pretty much receive that mark, right? For them to receive that exemption from judgment. Now let's get the book of Revelation chapter 18. I believe it's around the 20th verse. It's the book of Revelation chapter 18 verse 20. And it reads, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. Now again, going into that destruction that the Lord is going to bring upon the day when he actually returns, when Yahushua returns, that's going to that destruction is going to be mainly going into the destruction of America. It reads here, rejoice over her being America, the great whore. You read that in Revelation 17 chapter. Thou heaven, right? It says thou heaven, and we know heaven is going into who? Israel. You get that in the book of Luke. Chapter 17, verse 21. We can start here at verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of the Most High should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of the Most High cometh not with observation. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. Right? So he's saying, you know, one day you're not just going to look, the kingdom of the Most High, right? It's coming around the corner. No, but the kingdom of the Most High is in you, right? Because let's deal with that word kingdom. For instance, right, the kingdom of the Most High, a kingdom needs a ruler, right? It needs a kings, and Yahweh Shai is going to be that ultimate king in the kingdom of heaven. But through Yahweh Shai, we too are going to be joint heirs. So you cannot have the kingdom of the Most High without Israel. You know, without the Israelites ruling, because that's what the kingdom of the Most High is going to be. The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Israel. You know, the Lord is going to finally lift the curses off of us, and we are going to have or be in the position that we were rightfully supposed to be in. So going back to here, you know, in the kingdom of the Most High, it starts with the spirit. You know, because the kingdom of the Most High, that is a righteous kingdom, a kingdom for the godly to rule. If you don't come in a godly spirit, pretty much a spirit that walks after Yahweh by Hashem Shai, then the kingdom of the Most High isn't for you. And that's why scriptures say that not all of Israel is of Israel, right? It starts with the elect of the nation of Israel. Those who have that upright spirit. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High has revenged you on her. So it's telling to rejoice at the destruction of America. And if we're going to rejoice at the destruction of America, people who rejoice at something, before they get to rejoice at it, they're waiting on it, right? Looking forward to that day coming. And that's a spirit that we are in and we are supposed to be in, man. And that's why when we see the prophecies playing out, right, how Esau is building towards, how the world is moving toward a digital system, right? We know that at the end of all of this, World War III building up, right? We know that at the end of all of this comes the destruction of America, and not only just destruction of America, but you know, the fall of America, the fall of Esau's kingdom as a whole, right? And as well as the fall of this wicked world. You know, the fall of all of this abomination, so on and so forth. Right? We can get that in the very next chapter. Jumping down to the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 20. And it reads, doom of the beast and false prophet. And the beast was taken. The beast being the ancient Roman Empire, but in its rebirth, right? Being today America, NATO, and the EU. America and its allies, right? And with him the false prophet, going into the Roman Catholic Church, that is the pretty much the root of all the, you know, the deceptive religion that you have nowadays, all of the lies. And with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, going into the not only their witchcraft, well, their technology as well, which is part of that witchcraft. That are going to get people to what? With which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. So through their technology, through their left-handed means, they're going to persuade, seduce, and trick a lot of people into taking that mark of the beast, right? That MOTB, which is the RFID microchip that we're not supposed to take, right? If that's not clear. And them that worshipped his image, right, going into their system. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Now we know that lake of fire burning with brimstone is really dealing with the America. But what it's saying is, at the destruction of America, at the or at that time, right, it's really going to be a time where Esau's kingdom, right, their power structure as a whole falls. Every part of it. The Lord is coming to take down not only Esau, but all the nations on the earth, to subdue all the kings. Right, let's get the book of Daniel, the second chapter, the 41st verse. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So all the kingdoms, all the people in power, all the nations, the Lord is coming to subdue them all, to establish that righteous kingdom. Because we're dealing with heathens, right? No matter which one takes the mantle, this world is always going to be corrupt. In order to stop that, you need righteous to take the mantle. And Yahushua is the most righteous, so once he takes the mantle, there is no switching it up afterwards. So rereading this once more. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High has avenged you on her. And a mighty angel, right? And that's the vengeance. You have our people who are so down with Esau, right? They want to see Esau saved. Yet the Lord saying the destruction of Esau's kingdom, the destruction of America, that's the Lord avenging us. So it shows you the backward spirit that a lot of our people are in. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying thus, with violence shall that great city Babylon, America, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Right? So the Lord is coming to really destroy this place. And as we read here, with violence, right? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Again, as we read, we went into that word darkness. Let's go into this word violence. See what this says. Hormema.
Strong's G 3731. Harmema.
Hormema. A rush, impulse, that which is impelled or hurried away by impulse, violence, an attack, i.e. abstractly, precipitancy, violence. Right, so an attack, violence, a violent attack. And as it reads here, and they shall be found no more at all, and the voice of harpers and musicians, of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman and whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Right, because the Lord is coming to completely destroy it. Anyone found on the soils of anyone on the soils of America at the return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will be destroyed, along with this kingdom, right, along with this land. As we read in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, those elements that are melting with the fervent heat, the people are a part of those elements, man. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her, and that's why, the world as a whole is as corrupt as it is. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and all that were slain upon the earth. Right? And the Lord is coming to avenge that blood. Right? Now let's get the book of Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. It's around the 13th verse. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 13. Right? Again, dealing with that destruction. Because of the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, it shall not be inhabited. As we just read, there's no sound of trumpeters, and so on and so forth, right? The people, no sound of millstones grinding, any of that. Not inhabited. The Lord is going to turn America into a desert, a wasteland. But it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. right? And it goes to show you that this is not dealing with the ancient Babylonian Empire, but the modern one, America. This never happened to the ancient Babylonian Empire. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, right? And likening those arrows unto what? The missiles. So the Lord is going to have all these nations with the nuclear capabilities, right? These high, heavily destructive missiles, even America's allies, right? Aid in her destruction. For she had sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And as righteous believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, we want to see this whore, we want to see America Babylon the Great righteously judged for her sins. And that's why we come to the last verse, the fourth verse. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. And it reads, here is the patience of the saints. Again, as we went into that word hasty, right? Speedily looking forward to something, but we do it in patience, patiently serving the Lord until his return. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High. And what is keeping the commandments of the Most High? It shows obedience, right? You're obedient. Why? Because you fear. Going into how pretty much the wicked of our nation, they lack that fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is why they don't follow the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai or the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High, and a cut on all those who say we don't have to keep the laws. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushai, right? So it's both faith and works, because how do you show that faith? How do you show that fear in the Lord? Well, based off what you do, how you move. Do you live like someone who's scared of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, or do you not? So let's grab one more. Let's get the book of I believe it's here's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. We can start at verse 13. And it reads, as one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. Right? So when the Lord's return, he is going to comfort his people. Again, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel. And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice. And really, this is going into the kingdom of heaven. And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known toward his servants. Right? So having that distinction, his servants, and the servants of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai are in the spirit of looking forward to that day. And while they're looking forward to that day, they are doing the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the service of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and his indignation toward his enemies. And not only the other nations, right, and the main enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai being Esau, right? You read that in the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. But for the moment, the wicked of our nation, they too are looked at as enemies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because they are living like the enemies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They're living like heathens, acting like heathens. They have the spirit or the mindset of a heathen, So for in that day, the Lord's going to treat them as such. For behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will come with fire, and his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by sword would the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall be many. So that's what's coming. And if you aren't in a spirit of looking forward to that day, that means you don't have a clear conscience, right? A clear spirit, because you aren't serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So therefore, you're going to be looked at as an enemy in that day, you know. So you need to repent before you be destroyed. So I'll close it off there. Lord willing, this video was edifying and uplifting and or informative in some way, shape, or form. And once more, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, or Hakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.